What's up, college football fans, Mean Green fans, SMU fans? This is Sonoy Valente here with the Mean Green Show, and I'm joined quickly after the game. It's currently 10:01 p.m. With CJ, the head up person of the fifth quarter SMU account, and yeah, guys, we're just gonna do a really quick analysis of the game, super quick, super fast. I'm gonna try to keep my emotions out of it, and the drill. College football, subscribe. CJ, what are your initial thoughts?
North Texas was ready to play more so than I think I was expecting or anybody was expecting. I have a lot of respect for how y'all looked out there, especially in the secondary. You had texted me saying like you just hope after this you can put together a decent season. I really think y'all are going to be fine. Like I don't know who in the Conference USA is going to be able to match that physicality y'all showed in the secondary. That being said, there's a lot SMU personally needs to work on. I did mention that I was a little concerned about the secondary for us. That now we looked good in the bend don't break mold. So like you guys had, I'm looking at collegefootballdata.com. You had 7 opportunities inside of our 40-yard line and scored 13 points. So that type of thing, like if that can keep up the rest of the season, I'll take giving up 500 yards to a game to only be giving up 1.86 points per time they get inside of scoring position. Now, obviously, that's probably not sustainable, but I think there was a level of luck, and also sometimes the referees on both sides, it was really bad. It was just, I think that where they made a couple of errors in our favor were a little bit more meaningful. Outside of that interception, I think that should have been a catch. But anyways, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that play specifically.
Yeah, well, before we even get into what I think, I just wanted to thank you for jumping off the Polar Express early tonight to jump on with me one last time. And do you have your monocle with you?
No, it's in the shop.
Okay,
Listen,
okay.
I know. I should have
All
brought it
right.
with me, but unfortunately,
That's
it's
okay.
getting polished.
Yeah,
I have the best guy in Highland Park working on it, though.
that's
Don't
right.
worry.
That's right. Take the chopper and go pick it up whenever you can. But no. So my thoughts, I thought it was going to be worse. I guess the only thing is like we played so well defensively, especially early on. I got invested, man. I got invested emotionally, and my son heard a few of his first swear words from dad today, and had to. My wife got on to me. I had to ask for forgiveness, but so it happens though. But anyway, it's unfortunate right now. I know so many people are upset, and on the North Texas side, and I'm right there with them. But it was kind of a good way to lose, I guess. So I feel a lot better going into conference play after this game. I think
You should.
yeah, I do. And I'm scared about Bush being hurt. Bush is a great guy. I'm so sorry to see him go down,
Mm.
and Torrey as well. Torrey is the biggest piece of the offense. Coming into tonight, Burns doesn't look like he was just a one game against an FCS opponent pony, no pun intended. But so that's exciting. He put up 11 receptions for 136 yards, and I'm upset. It's hurt. It hurts. College. Football. It's one game a week. College. Every game matters. Every game matters. And I know you probably do it too as an SMU fan. You go into a game where you're going to lose essentially, but you just can't help but drink the Kool-Aid right before, and then sometimes like this time, like that Kool-Aid drinking doesn't get diminished midway through the first quarter. Like this. We were in it. Obviously the score doesn't really 35-12 doesn't really reflect how close it was. I don't believe for how long it was that
Right.
close. So it was just like, and so I'm in a lot of pain, but feeling very, very optimistic about conference play coming up.
Good.
How do you feel about SMU? Is Tanner Mordecai still going first overall draft pick this year, or like?
No, so that's why I wanted to see more. I told you I wanted to see more.
You did say that.
No, so I don't think that. Still, like, I saw a lot of good stuff out of Mordecai. I felt like he bounced back, he extended plays when he needed to, and that's going to be important. I mean, just I'm not so much worried about the offense. I'm a little worried about the offensive line. Now, I had told you after the fact that I completely forgot to mention when you asked me about concerns and stuff coming into the game. I forgot to mention Deion Noville. That guy is insanely good. He is incredibly talented, and so I even had him written down in my notes. I don't know how I just glossed over it last a couple days ago. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm a little concerned about the offensive line. Um, I mean, Mordecai showed that he can extend plays. He showed that he can keep his head up downfield and he knows when to tuck it and run, especially on like third and medium. Being confident enough to tuck and run, like staring down a linebacker and knowing that he can get that yardage. That's always impressive to see. And that was something I don't think Bouchel had in his arsenal. He was more of a pocket passer. I mean, he was elusive enough to like not take as many sacks, but he wasn't mobile like Mordecai showed to be. So that was good. I'm a little worried about the run game, especially on second and long. If you look, I mean, 30 rushes for 226 yards, that's 7.5 yards a pop. But if you take out that 85 yarder and Siggers is 18 yarder towards the end of the game, I feel like we were probably running for about 3.8, 4.2, somewhere in there. And that's not going to cut it once we get into conference play as well. So I'm concerned about the run, especially on second and long. We love running. It's almost like we're avoiding third and long because we don't want the possibility for an incomplete pass. So then instead we run on second and 9 for a 2-yard gain and end up in third and long anyways. And it's almost like I'm concerned about that. That was something I started to notice towards the end of last season. We did more and more. And so that's going to be something I monitor, I guess, as the season goes on. But defensively, I felt okay about our defensive line. Still concerned about the secondary. I mean, that bend don't break defense. That's going to be the phrase I'm going to be saying a lot this season is bend don't break, because it felt like y'all just could pick up any 10 to 15 yard gain that you wanted at will, basically on your side of your side of the field. And then as soon as you got into like borderline field goal range, then all of a sudden it was like we're a different team out there. So that if we could just be that defense all the time, that'd be great. Um, but no, I mean, I feel pretty good about SMU. I don't know about the punting game. I don't know if Frange or Hall is going to be the punter. I think Hall seemed a little bit more comfortable. He seemed to get a little bit more hang time. I know when PFF gets those numbers, we'll know more about hang time, but it seems like Hall's a little bit more natural as a punter. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I missed. I mean, I think I got everything SMU related out of the way. And of course, you did mention about hoping that Bush is okay. As soon as that play happened, I felt for him so bad, or like so
Yeah.
hard, because like I know what it's like to watch or I felt for y'all too, especially as
Yeah.
fans, but even for him, because even if it's a minor injury, which it definitely doesn't look like it, there's no such thing as a minor injury when you're the one that suffers the injury and then has to go through the rehab process. Like there's no such thing as easy rehab when you're the one doing it.
Mhm.
But like as soon as it happened, I know what it's like to just feel that deflation. And I felt so bad for you guys, because that's not how I don't think that's how anybody in red and blue this weekend wanted to win. And I mean, it's hard to say that like that didn't have a big impact, because he in that first drive just kept getting open and open and open, and finally they get it to him, and that was that.
Yeah, definitely, man. From a talent perspective, obviously, yeah, that's a big loss. And as you probably know, and a lot of people that watch this, I interview some people that choose G5 over Power Five, as well as every North Texas commit that wants to come on, has the opportunity if I can get in contact with them. And I had Bush on, and just off tape, you get to talk with these guys a little bit more personal, a little whatever, a little more laid back, and just such a good guy, and
Mhm.
just really, really a lot of fun to talk to, a lot of fun to communicate with, and kind of a lighthearted young man, and so just to see him go down and just, obviously when they're transfers too, it's just kind of like, it's a second chance for them. And just, you don't want to see
Right.
that get jeopardized, or just so, I'm hopeful and praying that, he can have a speedy recovery and, come back hopefully good as new, sooner than later. But yeah, but anyway, yeah. So, I mean, let me ask you this, as as a fan, and it's refreshing to talk to you as a fan because a lot of the people I talk to are media members or that aren't North Texas related anyway, or they're kind of removed from the team that they cover. But you obviously have a very emotional vested interest in SMU success. Were you starting to sweat at any point during that game, A? And then B, did you feel almost like, okay, we got the win, but like, oh crap, like now we're moving, like, you know what I mean? Like, where if UNT had like barely skated by an FCS school, like, yeah, we got the win, but at the same time, like, what
Right.
now? What? I mean, what are your feelings on those two statements?
Yeah, so second question first. I so we give the players Sunday off if they win. If there's ever a week where they don't, I don't want to say they didn't earn Sunday off because the rule is if you win, you get Sunday off, so they've earned it. But if there's ever been a week where it just doesn't feel the same, like it doesn't hit like it hits different but in a bad way, this would be that week. Like I've never been more disappointed in a loss, and I mean this is now my 4th year at SMU. Like I'm thinking back to the what is it 22 wins that we've now had in the last or no 24th tonight in my 4 years here, which I wasn't expecting to see that many when I got to SMU. So good enough.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't feel as good. Like there was something missing, I guess, from this win. There's only so many 80-yard runs that Ulysses Bentley can have on y'all and late in the game when it looks like it's more or less over. Um, it just yeah, there's just a lot that they need to work on, really. I'm sorry, what was your first question?
What was my first question? I got lost in translation too. I think it was, how do you feel? Yeah, I guess, going, or no, I asked, was there any point during the game where you were like, oh
Oh,
crap?
yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, yeah, well, you liked the tweet that I sent
yeah.
out. It was 6-0. It was at the end of the first quarter, we hadn't scored yet, and I sent a tweet that said basically like, "I'm not saying I'm worrying, but I'm not saying I'm not starting to worry," or something like, "I'm not starting to worry, but I'm not starting to worry," basically. Like, it was after, like, our 4th not 3 and out, I think we had a few, like, 5-play drives in a row, which is, like, a first down and then a 3 and out, which is, like, what's the difference, really? Um, we had a few of those in a row, and the thing I was watching to see if our guys on the outside were getting open, and we were just having trouble, like, just getting in sync, whether it be that, like, there was a hand up on the defensive line and Mordecai didn't make the throw or something like that, and it wasn't that, it was just we couldn't get open, and that's concerning, um, because, like, I think we're going to see better defensive backs than we saw tonight, throughout the season in some of our games. Thankfully, I don't think Louisiana Tech boasts those types of cornerbacks. But then, like when we see TCU, odds are we're going to see better. Then I think we're going to have a couple weeks of easier competition between USF, Navy, and then I mean Tulane's looked really good these last couple of weeks. So I'm worried getting into conference play after that Navy game, and even going to Annapolis is never easy. So yeah, I mean, I definitely there are concerns, and there were times tonight where I thought, like my friend said to me, and he's always like the sky is falling type guy. Like the second, like as soon as that interception happened, he was like, that's Mordecai's first interception. Now the floodgates are open. All hell's gonna break loose, and we're gonna lose by 100. I was like, all right, relax. Like we're fine. We're still gonna put up 50, and I don't consider this like we didn't really put up 35 in my mind. Like I know we did, but this feels like the least satisfying. Like this does not feel like a cover at all, even though we technically covered. Um, so
Yeah, I
yeah.
guess you did. I didn't even think about that. Well, there you go. But yeah, that's crazy. Y'all did, I guess, right? What was the
Mhm.
12:35? Yeah. Yeah, you did.
By half a point.
Yep. There you go. All right. So, two quick questions and then probably hop off, call it a night. I know you got some writing you got to catch up on, and I gotta calm down a little bit more. But I'm glad to be calming down. If this was over in the first quarter, I'd already be calm and acceptance and wouldn't be doing this video. So the two questions here are, one, because I know a little. I know it's kind of a screaming hot take for you because you haven't been able to probably process their stats. La Tech, that is. But first question is prediction. Our game after UAB is in Ruston. We play La Tech. Who do you think wins? Secondly, how do you think we fare? What do you think our schedule plays out? UNT schedule.
All right,
And I know that's a very, very, very tough.
Let me pull up y'all's schedule.
Second question,
So
yeah.
La Tech, I don't know what to make of La Tech. I mean, they played Mississippi State very close, but like I mentioned a couple days ago, like if you look at the like advanced analytics or the after the fact analytics, like they weren't as impressive maybe as like it was closer than it should have been. Like it should have been a more emphatic win for Mississippi State, and La Tech got a little lucky. And then they beat Southeast Louisiana by 3 today. They beat them 45-42. So as for y'all, just looking at your schedule, you have UAB. I'd be worried about that. I think UAB is a good team. They could not do anything against Georgia, and they couldn't stop a nosebleed against Georgia. And Georgia didn't even have JT Daniels, which I have a bet for JT Daniels to win the Heisman. So that's not great. That could have been easy stat padding for Daniels tonight. Then, yeah, like you said, then you go to Ruston. I don't know. I would say right now it's probably close to a toss-up. I can't emphasize enough like how impressive y'all's corners were, and like I don't like hardly know any of who you've got in the
Mhm.
secondary except for Mikhail Sanders.
What'd you think of
And
Jace Ruder?
I'm sorry.
Jace Ruder, the quarterback. What'd you think about him?
I thought he looked good. I felt like later on he kind of like lost touch a little bit. Like he came out like he was putting the ball where it needed to be. For the most part, I mean, he missed by very narrow margins. I mean, it was the
Mhm,
difference of like some contact bumping a
mhm,
receiver off the route just a little bit, being the difference between a guy coming down with it or not. And there were a few times where it looked like a receiver was going to make an acrobatic catch, and that's the difference between thinking it's a good pass and a bad pass. Sometimes it's just can the receiver come down with it. But I was impressed with Reuter. I feel like he's found a good spot for him. I don't know necessarily that like I don't think UNC. I mean, maybe culturally is a good fit for him, but I don't think talent wise, I don't think he could be playing in the ACC right now. Just to be a little blunt. But I think he's found a great spot. Just like I don't know if Mordecai right now would be a great fit in the Big 12, just from what we've seen. I mean, maybe. Um, I think he's found a good home at SMU, just like Reuter's found a good home at UNT. I hope it works out for him. He's got a bunch of weapons. I was surprised that Pirtle was still y'all's tight end. I feel like Pirtle's been doing it
Old
for
faithful Pirtle.
yeah. I mean, he's got to be what, a 5th or a 6th year senior by now.
This is double senior year. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought because I thought last year was his last year, but I guess because the extra year. Um,
yeah,
so
Pirtle, real
anyways,
quick, he had five receptions for 43 yards. That's pretty
yeah,
good.
he was good. It wasn't
He made some
necessarily
key
like
catches
he had
too.
5 receptions for
Yeah.
43 yards. He had 5 like third down catches. It felt like
Yes. Yes.
he had some big plays down the stretch.
That one
Um,
where he made the ball boy fumble on y'all's sideline. Did you
oh,
see
I
that?
didn't see that. No.
Yeah, so he caught it, went out of bounds, and the ball went flying, and we all thought watching us that were watching the TV anyway, like, oh crap, he fumbled, or he like it wasn't a catch because he whatever. But he ran into and the ball boy's ball like just flew up in the air. But
Oh, that's funny.
yeah, it's pretty funny.
I'll look for that on the watch back.
Yeah,
Then just let's see rest of your schedule. You go to at Missouri. I don't know how they did against Kentucky tonight.
the SEC team at their home, so you know,
Yeah, I mean, we can call a spade a spade. Then
yeah.
you host Marshall on a short week. I like that. Short weeks tend to favor the home team. I don't know what Marshall has the week before because, for example, like we host Tulane on a short week after our bye week, but they also have a bye week, so it's not actually a short week. So I don't know if it's actually good for you. Assuming Marshall's playing a standard game the week before, then that could be in your favor. And I think Marshall's a pretty good team. Um, let's see. Then you host Liberty again, or you host Liberty. That I don't know what to make of Liberty this year. So far, steady as they look like a 10-win team. I'd be worried about that. At
Mm.
Rice, you should win. At Southern Miss, I think you should win. Host UTEP, you should win. At FIU, you should win. Host UTSA. Ooh, I don't know about that.
That's a tough one.
I mean, it's going to depend. I wasn't not impressed with your linebackers, but there wasn't. Maybe it's just because I was so enamored with y'all's secondary and the physicality there, and then Deion Noville was just eating double teams and getting pressures that, like, even if the linebackers were good, I wouldn't have noticed just because of how good everybody else was. But that's going to be big for UTSA because I think McCormick is going to do a good job of getting to that second level of getting the linebackers. So it's going to come down to if they can make those stops. I know that y'all last year. I mean, I could be wrong. Please correct me if I am, but I feel like y'all had quite a few linebackers that were a little bit on the older side. I don't know if they came back for an
Our
additional year.
linebackers last year, man, that was really hit with COVID hard.
Okay.
And so that was probably the biggest thing there. We didn't really lose too many to graduation.
Okay.
But yeah, but we had a lot of the season due to COVID
Okay.
contact tracing and stuff.
Gotcha. Well, and then I would say UTSA is more or less close to a toss up. So what does that put y'all at? 6-6, 7-5, something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
I would
Well,
say that's
yeah.
all right. I mean, if
Yeah,
you can
I'm
get to
not
another goal.
upset if we go to UTSA and it being a true toss-up game, That would be because that's better than I predicted us before this game. So, well, cool. Well, all right, CJ. I know it's kind of a short one. Anything else we need to touch on before we hop off here?
No, I mean, I hope I was less smug in this recap.
Smug as a bug.
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah,
It's fun playing the heel for an episode, but now the game's behind me. I'm
yeah,
gonna go back to my normal life as just a 21-year-old kid just living it
yeah.
life. Um,
Till next
so
year.
yeah, exactly. Or
Yeah,
until an off season
that's right. That's right. Until somebody
edition
lands
of
another
this,
five-star
whatever this is.
recruit.
Yep.
Well, cool, man. Well, real quick, CJ, one more time, let them know where they can find you at.
Yeah, so you can follow me at FQ_SMU. If you want to hear my SMU takes, I've been, live tweeting the game because they made the reception better uh, in the stadium. So shout out to them for that. You can also follow my personal at CJ Olsen 2000. I post MLB picks daily. I post college football picks. If there's a college football game that day, even if there's only one, I post who I think's winning the money line, spread, and over under based on value. Same thing with the NFL. That's starting tomorrow. I'm going to be posting those picks. And then you can follow the podcast that I do at the RTP Pod, primarily an SMU football podcast. We did not end up doing an episode for this week because we'd been posting it like Friday afternoon, and unfortunately that's not really enough time. But we'll be back in action, ready to break down the La Tech SMU game. I would encourage anybody to listen to that. And listen, even if you're a North Texas fan, it's a great way to learn about La Tech a week in advance. So I do my research, I promise. I did appreciate that even the people that didn't like me from my appearance a couple days ago did point out that they felt like I had a sound understanding of what was going on and that like they couldn't disagree with my analysis, which
Oh
I
yeah, the Mean
appreciated.
Green calls it like they
They're like,
see
I
it.
don't like this kid. I can't disagree with facts. So, you win some, you lose some.
As long as the outcome is income. Shout out to Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. And, CJ, once again, thanks for jumping on. Good luck with
Of course.
pursuing your master's the rest of this week. And, I don't know who I want to win out of you or out of SMU and La Tech. I'll have to think about that one. But neither the less, good luck to you and all of your ventures, and we'll talk soon.
Mm-hmm.